this isn't the best side of my face. And my response to that is, well, let's do both and you'll get to choose later because you never know.
You have found Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. Downloadable audio episodes can be found in the podcast link, found at drawincustomers.com. We are locally underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie, and today we're welcoming / preparing to learn from Beth Skogen of Beth Skogen Photography. So Beth, how is it going today?
I'm good. It's Thursday.
It is Thursday. I'm excited. I'm excited because I've known you, I think, since a long time when there were not so many digits in the 2000s. And people said 10 years ago and you thought you were talking about the 90s. So let's start with Beth Skogen Photography. What do you take pictures of?
I photograph people.
Okay.
Let's see. I photograph for businesses. I take branding photos, lifestyle photos. I also photograph families and interiors and a little bit of video.
All right. What is you said branding photos? What are those?
Yeah, branding photos. So a business, in order to share what they do and tell their story, they need imagery. So I come in and document basically anything that they do.
All right. So if they're fixing typewriters,
sure.
You document them fixing typewriters? Or,
that has not happened. But
or
that
if
would be
they,
great.
I don't know, squeeze orange juice or something like that?
Yeah.
You're taking action shots of them squeezing orange juice? Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So instead of them using clip art or stock photos or something?
Yes. Yeah, a lot of people, so easy to go online and save an image, which you should never do because you could get into some serious trouble. You should hire a professional photographer, and then if the licensing is all accurate, you can use those images as you wish for your own marketing.
And it's actually those are actually yours. So it's your company, your people.
It's your people. So when you look at, let's just say a financial firm, and there's a group of people in a row, who knows if those are the actual people?
All right.
Yeah, you want to look at a business's website, social media, and know those are the people that you're actually going to be working with.
All right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So let's go way back. What year did you start?
2009.
Okay. So 2009, let's look at 2008.
Ooh.
What were you doing in 2008? Way back when.
I was graduating from college in 2008.
All right.
I went to the University of Iowa.
Nice.
And I majored in journalism and art. So I focused heavily on photojournalism and fell in love with photographing people and just documenting life.
So let me think, 2008, were there still dark rooms in 2008?
There were.
Okay.
I learned how to take photos on film and develop film.
Nice.
Yes.
I remember taking photo classes in college and going through the dark room and playing with developing pictures and thinking, I'm going to have a dark room in my house. And are they a thing anymore?
Some people still do it. I feel like there's some photographers that specialize in doing that, and a little bit, yes.
Okay.
But not many.
They still do calligraphy and churn their own butter, so we're not, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Makes it like even more special that they do it because not many people do it.
Yeah, I remember you could have fun with it, developing certain areas of the photo more and different, and I guess kind of the fun was you didn't know what you actually took a picture of until you put it in a little chemical and you're like, oh yeah, that's my thumb.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can't just click away and try to get all sorts of shots. You have to be very intentional with your 24 film.
That's right.
roll.
All right.
Yeah.
So how did you go from graduating college to starting your own photography business?
Yeah, I feel like, well, after college, I did 2 internships. So I took an internship at VII Photo Agency, which is out in New York.
That's the name of it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, not 7.
Roman numeral 7 Photo Agency.
Okay.
They're a group of photojournalists in this collective, basically, and they were all over the world doing different assignments. And so I wanted to work at this agency kind of behind the scenes, so it was more of the business aspects of the photography world, licensing images. Magazines would, let's see, like New York Times Magazine would ask for images relating to a story, and so we'd go through the archive of all of our photographers' images and pull certain ones that would make sense for that story. And then weeks later, we would get that New York Times Magazine and see those images that we sent them to use to license and scan in the tear sheet, which was really cool to see that whole process.
Yeah.
So I wanted to learn the behind the scenes of licensing the images and how that all works. So that was really cool. And I got to meet a few of the photographers at the time. There were maybe like 11 or 12 photographers at the time. And it was so cool because in college, in photojournalism class and working for the newspaper, we looked at the VII website and looked at those photographers' work to see what was considered good work. And it was great. So it was like a dream come true. It was really, really cool.
So then you got to be the person that was taking the photos that other students got to look at and see.
I didn't photograph for them. I was
you
just
did not?
in the office. Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing a lot of metadata, file naming. So a lot of the behind the scenes that I do in my business now, I learned from the agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about the metadata part.
Yeah. So when I take photos, I bring them, they're on the memory card, I bring them onto the computer, upload them onto my computer, onto multiple hard drives, and then I go through and I tag certain images, delete certain images that aren't good, and then I go through, I rename them based on the date, the subject, and then from there, the metadata, I use a program called Photo Mechanic.
Okay.
And I go in and I add keywords that are specific to that photo shoot and a little blurb, I guess, like a cut line from my photojournalism days, and then a subject line. And then it always includes like my name and my website,
All right.
in case someone, like if I were to take photos of you, I would add all of your business information and your keywords. And then if you upload that image to your website, all that metadata will be in there and hopefully it'll help with your SEO. Because
Got it.
Google will pull out those keywords, and so in turn it's helping businesses and helping on my back end if I need to find images
All right.
10 years down the road.
Dang.
So if I go into my archive, I can type in your name and it would pull up the images I took of you back in 2012.
Yeah, you took headshots of me twice. Mm-hmm. Was it 2012?
I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Okay. It's been a long time. It's
I'm
been
not
a
sure.
long time. I was trying to figure
Yeah.
out what business or where was I at with business. Businesses, whatever, when
Yeah.
you took headshots. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I had
Yeah.
more hair then, so it was,
No.
just keep those up there. I just saw a video, just side tangent here. I just saw a video my uncle had of me when I was, I want to say 14. I had a sweet mullet.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, sweet mullet. And I
Nice.
thought, oh man, I miss those days.
That's
so
awesome.
so let me look at this, the hard drive stuff. You take all these pictures of people since 2009. Do you still have all those?
Yes,
That is a lot.
it's a lot.
Holy cow.
I mean, I've deleted the untagged ones. I go back after 2 years and maybe delete the untagged.
Okay.
But I still have the tagged versions, and I don't know if I can ever let them go.
Well, you don't have to.
I don't have to, and I know a lot of photographers will after a few years delete.
Yeah.
But I've had people, like this one family, the husband sadly passed away, and they came back and they wanted those images again. Granted, they have them, but they couldn't find them, and maybe at that time I was giving out CDs
Sure.
of images.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was so long ago. But I would feel so bad if I didn't have those images to give them.
Got it.
So yeah, I am holding on to a lot of memories.
All right, that's cool. I mean, that's
It's cool.
That's the game.
Yeah.
That's the game of photography. So when you start your first gig, what was the plan? Was the plan be, I'm super awesome Beth, I'm going to do photos for journalism, or what was the plan for what you were going to take pictures of when you first started?
I guess, well, with the internships, I went from New York, and then I went from New York to LA to intern with one of the photographers that was a photographer with VII at the time, Lauren Greenfield, and I wanted to see what her life was like and how she did her business. So I wanted to just acquire more information, more skills, because in college we learned how to take good photos, we learned how to interact with people, but we didn't learn any of the business side of it. So with the internships, that was my goal. And then, so internship in the fall, internship in the spring, and then I ultimately decided to leave LA and move back to Madison and start my own business, doing documentary style photography, which I loved, for families and businesses. So I didn't necessarily want to be in the journalism world, media world. I just wanted to document life for individuals.
Help me with what that is. Documentary style.
It's letting life just kind of unfold and happen without my control.
I'm just, in my mind, I'm picturing a family just arguing,
Yeah.
throwing pizza or something at each other. And you're
That'd be
like,
interesting.
I got it.
Yeah. I just had a family actually play a game that's like really meaningful to them, and I love that. Like, we did some photos outside their house, which was really special, and then they really wanted me to document them playing this card game that they play
really?
all the time.
Okay.
And it was absolutely hilarious. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
With the facial expressions and...
Yeah, they were throwing cards in the air, and I don't know.
All right. So with something like that, you got to end up with hundreds, if not thousands of photos, right?
Yeah, hundreds in an hour.
How do you
Probably
sort through all
500.
that? To figure
I'm
out-
really quick. I
Okay.
just click through, pick out the good ones. Yeah, and then I narrow it down and send them, families in particular, a link of 50 to 75 photos.
All right, that's still a lot. Okay.
That's still a lot, yeah.
So eyes closed, evil scowl, get rid of those. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's just the family side of it. And then the businesses, I feel like it all worked out a little bit unplanned. Like, I loved the photojournalism aspect and the candidness of the work I was doing. But back in 2009, social media wasn't really a thing. And I was taking these lifestyle photos, and people can use them on their website and their social media, and they need all that content. So it's really worked out to be great.
All right.
Yeah.
That is cool. So you did I want to say baby photography, newborns or something like
birth.
that? Tell us about that.
Childbirth.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I remember meeting you, and I was trying to figure out how in my head you are essentially on call,
yeah.
and somebody would call you and say, hey, we're having a kid.
Yep.
Come on down to the hospital and take shots. Tell us how that worked.
Yeah. So in one of my photojournalism classes, my good friend ended up documenting a family over a whole semester, and the last piece of it in May, the mom was due with their 4th or 5th child, and she ended up photographing her birth in black and white film. And the series of portraits the series of images that she had throughout the semester on the wall was really cool. And then the childbirth, it just brought it all together. It's really, really special. And then that friend of mine ended up getting pregnant. And because she had done that project, I was like, do you want me to come document your birth? Like, I feel like that would be really special to have.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I did, I went to Iowa City and photographed her birth. And I remember Googling it, and there was one woman, I feel like, down in Texas that was doing birth photography. So I was like, I want to do this because it's different. I'm always like trying to push and do some things that aren't typical for photographers. So I jumped into birth photography. I was doing maybe like 5 or 6 a year. Like, it wasn't so crazy.
Okay.
But the goal was to do like 3 or 4 a month, which would have been a lot. I think
That sounds like a lot.
over 14-ish years, I did over 60 births.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. The moments were lovely, intense, beautiful. Like, yeah, words can't describe some of the moments that I've captured. And it's not for everybody. Like, sometimes I would share, like when I came to networking groups that we were a part of, I'd be like, I do childbirth photography, and people would be like, what? I wouldn't want that. So it was definitely a challenge to like find those people that were interested in it and not maybe turned off by it or disgusted by it.
Okay.
But the births that I did some video at some births, I've done some home births, I've done photos at births,
Wow.
And it is so incredibly special. I mean, yeah.
So when people are having their kid in a hospital, you have to get permission from the hospital, or how would that work?
I didn't.
You just kick open the door and say,
yeah,
"I got a
I just
camera."
walked right in.
Got your press pass.
I didn't. I would just be hired by the family and
Okay.
go in because you could have visitors. This was before COVID.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
picturing the birth. So this
It is the birth.
The birth.
Yeah.
So mom's there, stirrups and all that.
Yeah, or before. I mean, ideally, I would get there like 2 to 3 hours before the baby was born. But I think the family would like alert the nurses, alert the doctor
Gotcha.
that they have a birth photographer, so everybody's on the same page. And then before I would start photographing, if a nurse was in it or the doctor, I would always be like, "Are you okay with photos being taken?"
Gotcha. And were they cool, or was there ever a time they're just like, eh?
I feel like everybody was cool
Okay.
from my memory.
All right.
There
good
might
enough.
have been, maybe at some points, like depending on how the birth went, I wasn't able to take photos, but
Okay. Fair. I suppose if there's a problem or something like that, priorities shift.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you still do that? No, you evolved
don't.
away from that.
I did.
Or pivoted, if we
I
used
pivoted. Love that. Yeah, because COVID happened, and then only one person was allowed in the room, and they weren't going to choose me over their partner.
Sorry, husband.
Yeah,
Get
sorry.
out of here.
Yeah, and it was, there were a few times with being on call for the birth that I'd have to cancel on a client who planned a full day of headshots or like clean their whole house and had it ready to go, and I couldn't be there for that. So that was really hard. And then also being on call. A lot of the births I'd get the call at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning to go. So yeah.
Just like, are you sure? Can you hold it?
Yeah. Have you talked to a nurse? So yeah, it was a good run.
All
I
right.
enjoyed it. But it's nice. It's, yeah, I pivoted.
All right.
New direction.
It's the perfect COVID word.
Yeah.
So you pivoted into more business stuff?
Yeah.
Or business and family once the family's already born?
I feel like everything kind of just stayed the same. I just eliminated birth photography.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a story about headshots. Because I remember, oh man, I was in 40 Under 40 in Business Magazine. I remember the photographer there is like standing there with your arms crossed. And I'm like, I feel like that's the lamest pose ever. But I feel like that's the standard headshot business pose, is stand there with your arms crossed, like you don't care or something like that. So just walk me through how you figure out how to take headshots and how you get people to move in their positions and all that.
Yeah. Trying to think. I just did a portrait session last night. I don't have a studio, so I shoot on location. And it was outside with the fall leaves, with some houses in the background. And we talk to make us comfortable. I've never met her before. We've just emailed. So we talk for a little bit, and then I'm paying attention to where I want to put her, based on light, what's in the background, what makes sense. So let's see, positioning, I kind of just, I tell them they don't have to stand there and just stare at the camera. I feel like that gets really uncomfortable.
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
Nobody just wants to stare and smile. Your smile goes flat. So I tell them that you can move around every few seconds, even if it's like moving the weight on your feet or just like turning a little bit. And even hearing that, people get uncomfortable because they don't know what to do with
like
all that
3 seconds for
information.
1,
Yeah.
2.
Hands, like what are all the options? And I always tell people I will guide you and help you along in the process as well if I want you to do something different. So we'll do all sorts of things. Hands in the pockets, hands on the hips, one hand on the hip, one hand down, arms crossed. Not everybody loves the arms crossed. It depends on the look you're going for.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. But there's like all these little details when it comes to photographing people. And portraits in particular, like with pockets and hands. A lot of people will just shove their whole hand in the pocket, and I don't like that.
All right, you want the thumb out?
I like the thumb out.
All right.
I don't like just the thumb in with the fingers out. There's like all these I'm a little particular.
All right.
Same with the arms crossed. Like if someone's gonna cross their arms, I also don't like to lose the hands, and it depends what they're wearing too. I like to see a little bit of fingers. Maybe not totally this, but it kind of just depends with every person. You also want it to be natural and how they would stand.
I suppose especially if they have a patterned shirt and their hands are kind of tucked.
Yeah, where are your hands?
You didn't know where
see
their
my
arms
hands?
are.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not at, like, I think the first pose that everybody goes to is like putting their hands down in front of them, which I'm not
Yeah, like you're in front of a judge.
thrilled about because it like rounds you forward, but it's the most comfortable pose that everybody does. Some people will put their hands in the back of them, which pushes your shoulders back. So there's all these little things that people don't really think about that I'm there to help guide them and make them feel as beautiful as they can be. And I honestly, like, whenever I photograph people, everyone is self-conscious. Like, I feel like 90% of the people that I photograph absolutely hate being photographed. So I'm there to have fun with them and make them feel like the best version of themselves. And I think everybody's beautiful.
Everybody?
I do. Like, I know, you're beautiful, James.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Likewise. I think you're definitely above me, so you're cool that way. You just see, we got to take headshots of James. Got a filter on this. So when you're taking headshots and you try to get them comfortable, but like in my head, it's all like, oh my gosh, we're gonna do this once every 8 years, so it's better be good. So I can see how there's pressure that way.
Yeah, there's pressure.
Or it's gonna be, this is slapping on your website, this is going on, I don't know, all the brochures or things, whatever people are using headshots for.
Yeah, and you're so vulnerable in front of the camera, and it's you have to put a lot of trust in the photographer.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I was thinking of like presidential elections coming up, right? And all these people are running around saying stuff and getting pictures taken. And I'm thinking, I was just walking through this antique store and I thought, what if I was running for president? And I want to walk through an antique store. And they're like, look at James, he's picking up whatever, rubber duck, right? Oh my gosh, he likes rubber ducks, we're not voting for him, or something like that. And I'm like, you could take any photo, or when there's so much film, and there's really you're not limited to 24.
Yeah.
They could take almost anything and spin it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So then when you're in front of someone for headshots, I'm like, oh my gosh, there could be some picture of me, whatever.
Yeah.
Not even knowing that I look obnoxious.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't mean to. I suppose, or it's when you have a video and then you pause it and that person looks like they're mid-puke or something like that.
Yeah. I would never do that to you.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. That's why we hire you.
Yeah, but
Like
it's a lot of trust, you know? Like, some people, when I'm doing portraits, they'll be like, well, this isn't the best side of my face. And my response to that is, well, let's do both. And you'll get to choose later because you never know. Maybe you'll be like, oh, actually, that is a nice side of my face.
How do they know?
Yeah, they don't. Well, who knows?
Or they always look in the mirror and maybe they're like, oh, wait. I always look and think it's the right side. It's actually the left. Who knew?
Right, I'm very confused.
Yeah.
And through the process of photographing somebody, I also show them a few images to make sure they're happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you play music?
I don't, but that's a great idea.
I'm just picturing Austin Powers, like, show me tigers.
Yeah, there's so many little things that people appreciate. I'll be like, I'm so picky because if one or a few strands move, I will go and adjust them.
All right.
And they're like, thank you so much for taking the time and paying attention to that because nobody wants to look at the photo and be like, oh, that one hair. I don't know. Like hair is so important in the photo. If you're wearing a collared shirt and there's hair literally just like stuck in your shirt, oh my, no.
Oh,
you got to pull that out.
Yeah.
So I usually start if you have hair, I will, go like this.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. If and then I'll make sure, like, do they want it on one side or the other side, or if they have bangs. I've had bangs, and bangs they're a whole thing that you just want to make sure either they're side swiped or they're even. Is the necklace straight? Is the clasp in the back?
Holy cow.
I know there's a lot to think about, and to have the conversation, and to make sure the light's good and your settings are good on the camera because I shoot all manual, and to make sure they're laughing.
What does that mean, manual? So you're focusing? It's not autofocus?
I do autofocus. The aperture, shutter.
Okay.
Those are all manual.
All right. Dang. That's a lot going on.
Yeah.
How do you choose what equipment you're going to use?
Usually for portraits, I'll use a 50mm lens, or if I want really shallow depth of field, I'll use my 70 to 200 and be far away. But I really like this is a good distance. I like being.
So you would have a camera and I'd be sitting here.
Yeah, I might have to back up just a little bit with my 50 to make sure I get a little bit of the torso.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably have you button your jacket,
Oh,
so it's not,
right.
so the line is like straight down.
All flailing about here.
I wouldn't photograph you sitting.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah, we would
stand.
stand. We would stand.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, photographers do. Like they'll have them sit on a stool. I just feel like standing, like your posture, you can be, you can stand up a little bit straighter. Your jacket wouldn't be wrinkling and spots,
No, I'm all self-conscious. Screw this. Right? No, you're fine. It's funny that you say that because I actually went to a headshot guy. It's one of these guys that was having a headshot. I don't know when you call it. You just pay whatever, and he just pushes people in, shoves them out. You sit on a stool, you take some shots, you move on with your life. And I got him, and I was like, not a fan. It just didn't. I didn't feel like the personality was captured, and it was just nothing that I would put on anything professional. So I was like, oh man, I wasted that time.
Yeah,
it was dirt cheap. So I
go.
only wasted a little bit of money.
Perfect. Yeah, even if I'm doing like a half day of portraits for a business, I will spend minimum of 5 minutes with each person. Like there's no way I'm just taking one photo.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a few different looks.
Sit there, smile, move along.
Yeah, next. I don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I talk to him for a little bit, we'll joke around, and then take some photos, different angles. Yeah.
All right. So that means, so you seem fairly quiet, but that means that you have to be somewhat extroverted to get people out of their shell a little bit. How do you do that?
I ask them questions. We get to know each other. And then I start taking photos, and I feel like I don't continue the conversation as I'm taking the photos. I've done that a few times. And then they'll start talking, which obviously you don't want to be talking in the photos. And honestly, when I'm having a conversation with the person, I'll drop my camera, or not, I won't drop it. I'll take it down from my face and have the conversation, because I don't know.
No, I get it.
I like to be face to face talking, and then we'll take a few more pictures, and then we'll laugh together. And
so that's the signal. You can keep talking.
Yeah.
Shut up. We're taking pictures. Okay.
Yeah. Let's take
No,
a
I
few
get it.
more.
It's like you're having a conversation with your dentist when they're trying to clean your teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's a point when it's cool, but eventually their hands are in your mouth and
Yeah.
it's difficult to talk.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it. What's the favorite of all the things that you do? You got family, you got documentary style family, or documentary style business? It's both, right?
Yeah, it's all kind of documentary style.
Okay.
But yeah, businesses, families, portraits are in there.
All right.
What's
favorites?
my favorite? I mean, ultimately, I love people. And when I'm in the moment of doing portraits, I absolutely love portraits. I love photographing a person, a human, and making them feel like they have a good photo of themselves. I also just love documenting family life, like especially in somebody's home. Kids running around or playing with their favorite toys or making cookies together. I just photographed a family making pancakes. Like they were jumping on the trampoline, and then they came in and they started making pancakes together. And there's just all these little special moments, whether it's the little girl coming over and giving her mom a hug, or all the traditions that people have
All right. That's cool.
in their day-to-day lives.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you market something like that? Because I have to imagine that that's a rare thing, what you do. There's photographers that take pictures of families, but not necessarily documentary style. So that means that to market, people have to know or understand what you're offering, as well as knowing that you exist.
Yeah.
So how do you get people to know that you exist? Besides sweet podcasts.
Sweet podcasts. I feel like, my Instagram, Beth Skogen, right now, over the last few years, it's been very business focused on the branding photos. So if someone were to look at my Instagram, they would have no idea that I photograph families.
Oh.
So not my Instagram.
Okay. All right.
I should probably start putting families on there. My website, the SEO is really good. If you Google Madison family photographer, referrals.
All right.
People, families. I just photographed a family. The oldest is 11 years old,
Okay.
the son, and I photographed him when he was a newborn. So
Wow.
that family, now they have 4 kids. That family has come back year after year. So a lot of repeat clients,
Okay.
friends of those clients. Yeah,
All right. That's super sweet.
yeah. I don't do any paid marketing.
Oh, well, that's super cool.
Yeah,
That's high fives there, man.
yeah. Thank you.
Boom. No paid marketing. Let's shift gears a little bit because you have a
Okay.
lot of other stuff going on.
Okay.
Are you cool talking about the other
Yeah,
stuff?
love it.
All right. Let's work chronologically.
Okay.
Because that'll help me understand all that you have going on.
Okay.
So 2009, you start, you get rolling, you're taking pictures of babies and newborns.
Mm-hmm.
You pivot into families, documentary, business shots, headshots, all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And you got some other stuff that deviates away from photography. So when did that first start?
Yeah. That probably started in 2019, I think. I became vegan.
Okay.
I was on and off vegan for a few years, and then became vegan for the animals.
Okay.
Yes.
So it was a conscious
Yep.
for their well-being, whatever?
Yep.
Okay.
And then out of that, I've always wanted to volunteer at Heartland Farm Sanctuary. I had followed them for a few years, and I finally was like, okay, this is going to be the year. So in January 2020, I believe, I started volunteering at Heartland Farm Sanctuary once a week.
Okay. What is that place? I don't know.
Yeah, they're a sanctuary that rescues farm animals.
Oh, okay.
They have about 80 residents, and from
When you
pigs.
say residents, you mean animals.
Yes.
Okay, not
we
just
like
people.
to consider. Yes. We like to
Okay.
consider them residents.
Okay.
They all have names. They all have personalities. They eat salads. We make that, like, they get their grains, they get their hay that they need to eat, but we are chopping up salads for them to have, which is like, I think it's so great. We give them a really good life.
All right.
So as a volunteer, I chop salads, I feed water different residents, and then muck. Scoop poop.
Okay. All right.
In other words, scoop poop. I didn't know what mucking was before then. But yeah.
All right. All right. So where are they rescued from?
They all have different stories.
So were they, because I imagine a farmer that originally had them was planning on using them for non-vegan people.
Yeah.
So it was, did that farmer say, hey, we'll give you over here, or?
Yeah, they all have different stories. Betty White, for instance, is a big pig,
All right.
a big Yorkshire pig. She, I feel like she's 1 now. She's huge. She's
Okay.
a few hundred pounds.
A few hundred.
A few hundred.
Oh, wow.
She fell off a transport truck as a piglet
Okay.
in Minnesota, and was rescued and ultimately given to Heartland because she was getting too big where she
Okay.
was. Yeah. So that's one story, Betty White. I'm trying to think. I would direct people to the Heartland Farm Sanctuary website because
All right.
each of them have their different stories and their names and little facts about them. Mister is a goose. He is 30 years old.
Whoa.
I know.
I don't know how long geese normally live, but I imagine 30's getting up there.
30. We have some beautiful turkeys. Miss Everdeen, her rescue and birthday anniversary is coming up. She'll be 10.
Where was she rescued from? Is this one of those White House
gosh.
things?
You know,
You get pardoned or whatever?
I, again, would refer you. I sadly
okay.
don't know all of their stories. I know a few of their stories, but the website has all the information.
All right, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I need to do more research.
Is this nonprofit?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep, yep. So they, you can volunteer for them, you can donate to them, you can, they have this thing going on right now called Pasture Pals. So a few of the residents, for I think $50, you can choose if you want to do the breakfast crew, which are 3 goats. I think the cows are on there. Maybe some of the pigs are on there, but you'll get photos via email, updates
gosh.
weekly.
Okay.
On the Pasture Pals that you signed up for.
Gotcha.
Super cute.
Pasture.
Pasture Pals.
Got not past your.
Oh,
Got it.
no, Pasture Pals.
All right.
But it's a great organization. I love being part of it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How did you find out about them?
I think I followed some people on Instagram that were volunteering there. And going to Iowa and doing RAGBRAI, which I'll get to next, the Bike Across Iowa. I knew about Iowa Farm Sanctuary, and that's another sanctuary, but in Iowa. A lot of rescued farm animals.
All right. Wow.
Another one to follow. But so I knew about them, but I wanted to, obviously, being in Madison, closer to home, I can actually do something with them.
Yeah.
with
So
my
this place
time.
is Madison-ish.
Yeah, they're just outside Stoughton.
Okay.
Yep,
And how often do you volunteer there?
once a week.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
that's quite a bit.
9 to 12, Friday morning.
All right. That's specific. Nice.
Very specific.
All right. So tell us about is it RAGBRAI?
Yeah, RAGBRAI. So RAGBRAI is a Bike Across Iowa. The last week of July, around 30,000 people partake on their bikes. 7 days. You camp, and you spend your days biking. Some people party, some people don't. I don't partake in the party aspect, but for about 5 years, I did RAGBRAI on my own. Well, the first 2 years I did it with a friend, and then continued on my own. And biking across Iowa as a vegan is pretty difficult.
All right.
Iowa's the largest pork producing state in the U.S.
Oh.
And so there's signs for pork on a stick, you name it.
Okay.
A lot of meat, cheese pizza. So I decided that I wanted to start my own thing and try to find a vegan chef, and maybe 4 or 5 friends
Okay.
that would do this with me.
Yeah.
But find a chef who would cook us dinner. And I made it happen.
Nice.
So 3 years ago, saying it was 2021, I reached out to Lauren Montalbano, who used to be the chef at Syria Cafe. So I knew her from there and loved her food. Sent her an Instagram wondering if she knew of anybody that would be interested in something like this, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time. And I didn't think that she would be into it because I thought she'd be busy or her price would be too much. But she responded and was like, this is totally up my alley. So that was a dream come true, because if I could have any chef, it would be Lauren Montalbano.
Wow.
So she said yes. She does an amazing job. So the first year we had 16 people that I didn't know sign up. So there were 18 people on the team. And it was a great first year. And then the second year, it was the 50th anniversary of RAGBRAI, and we had 44 people on the team.
Wow.
So it blew up.
I guess.
People on RAGBRAI, some people are looking for healthy alternatives, because you're biking 450, 500 miles in a week. A lot of people drink beer. A lot of people are eating greasy, not the healthiest of foods. So to have fresh vegetables and a lot of protein in other ways is amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. And then, so that was the second year. This past year, we had 32 people, which
All right.
I think we'll have around 30 people on the team every year moving forward.
So how did the people that you didn't know learn about it?
I think I did some posts on the RAGBRAI Facebook group. And then also, if you Google vegan RAGBRAI, vegan cycling, we're up there.
You're there.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right.
It's called Powered by Plant Cycling.
That's cool. So
Yeah.
that's what that is.
This is my mug, yeah.
All right.
It's a whole new brand. I now sell apparel and run a cycling team. And then this year was our first time having a second ride in Door County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Powered by Plants is the whole thing?
Yep.
Same chef?
Yep, they came up and made an outdoor dinner at our group campsite. Yeah, and it's to bring community together that have similar beliefs. Is
Okay.
really it's
Vegan
nice.
type beliefs
Vegan
or
type beliefs,
psycho
yep.
long-term biking beliefs?
Both. Yeah.
Okay.
Not everybody is vegan that joins us.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe they just want to eat healthier, or they know somebody on the team that's interested in being part of it or just wants to experience it.
All right.
Yeah.
So those people, do they still party?
I feel like our team isn't a huge party team.
Okay.
Like we'll have some drinks at the end of the day. Some people don't. But you have to get up and bike the next day at like 6
Yeah.
in the morning. And like last year, the temperatures were like 110 degrees. So it was
Oh.
a bit extreme.
All right. So 4 in the morning, you're like, let's roll before the sun
we
comes
did.
out.
Yeah, we were up at 4 last year.
Okay.
So I just can't imagine drinking much and then doing that. But
Dang.
some people do it
All right.
and survive. Yeah.
So the chef would, I imagine, take a van or bus or something like that ahead of you guys?
They do, yeah. So before Ragbri, we plan out where our campsites are in the host towns. And they go ahead the first 2 years, I guess. She had her little catering van and would set up like an outdoor kitchen. And then we had a U-Haul. We had a 20-foot U-Haul with more kitchen supplies and all the bags. So there's all the team members get 2 bags. And then, so
Right.
we're unloading those, or I'm riding. I'm not. The support and Lauren and her assistant, sous chef, are doing the cooking. But yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. So they
Okay.
set up the outdoor kitchen, they start cooking, dinner's at 6. Except this year, her husband, Kyle, bought a food truck. So they had the food truck there to cook out of.
Nice.
Yeah, and it went wonderfully.
What do people normally eat on these things?
A lot of meat.
Okay.
I
Are
feel
they-
like if you're a vegan or even a vegetarian, you're going to the grocery store and getting things. Like you could go to the Hy-Vee and do like a salad bar. I remember I would go to, oh my gosh, what's the pizza place?
franchise
it's a pizza
place or
chain, yes.
Pizza Hut?
No, not Pizza Hut.
Domino's, Papa John's? I don't know.
They have a salad buffet.
Okay.
And that was a great option, except in each town, they're big and small. You never know what kind of restaurant you're going to run into, and they're flooded with people because a lot of people go there because it's like pizza, salad buffet, great option. And there's a lot of vendors in the town. So there are a lot of food options. There's just not healthy, vegetable-forward options. There's a noodle, like an Asian stir-fry noodle with a bunch of vegetables, which was very satisfying before I was vegan, but the noodles are all egg noodles.
Okay.
A few nights they'll have like an acai cart, but an acai bowl isn't going to fuel you for the
Right.
next day of 80 miles of biking for dinner. That's a nice snack.
Nice.
But this pizza buffet restaurant that I'm blanking on, there's one in Verona.
Pizza Ranch?
Yes, my
All right.
God, Pizza Ranch. So sometimes, like having a salad, there would be a lot of buffet options. But in this one very tiny town, we're like, let's go to Pizza Ranch. I remember having literally an iceberg lettuce salad. I was starving.
Yeah.
80 miles.
Yeah.
Starving. All I want is food. Iceberg lettuce salad, maybe with some peas and tomatoes
That's
and
it.
dressing.
Oh, no. That's how you pass
So
out.
sad. That's how you pass out. So I was like, how cool would it be to have a chef making us amazing, delicious, nutritious, full of protein meals? And people, when they walk by or they smell it, they're just like, what is this? How
What
can we
you
eat
got?
with you? Yeah.
And I feel like if you're biking that far, you don't want to bike and then like, let's go shopping for dinner.
Yeah.
You get to bike and then
Oh my
show up to this
God.
tent and
Right.
Oh.
Because you have to put up your tent still. I mean, there's some groups, charters that will set up your tent if you pay more. You got to get your bag. You got to schlep your stuff to your spot on the campground. You got to set up your tent.
yeah.
You got to shower.
All right.
I mean, that alone, you got to sometimes wait in line, shower. It's hot. You're tired. A
So I imagine people get cranky.
little cranky. Yeah.
All right.
A little
Not you,
emotional.
but I mean,
Eh.
a lot of them.
Yeah, I get a little emotional. Like it's a, it's a week of ups and downs.
All right.
Yeah, physically and emotionally.
Got it. I know we don't have a ton of time left, so I want
Yeah.
to shift into the other thing you have going on. Not Bratfest,
Yes.
but
Vegan Sausage Fest.
Vegan Sausage Fest. Tell us a story. What is
Oh my
that? And tell us
God.
why.
Vegan Sausage Fest. Well, like you mentioned, there's the other festival, and
Oh, we don't mention this.
we don't mention the other festival. I just wanted to have an alternative because they sell a lot of brats.
Yeah.
And in my mind, that's a lot of lives, animals.
Fair.
Lives.
Okay.
So Vegan Sausage Fest is an opportunity for people in the community together and have an alternative festival with different sausage-like options
Okay.
that are vegan.
What are sausage-like options?
Well, I'm trying to think. So we have different food vendors, and it's a restaurant owner in town or a chef vendor that wants to set up a stand. They come up with their own sausage-inspired item to sell.
Okay.
So like Lauren's item last year was Asian-inspired brat in a bao bun with like Asian slaw and sriracha aioli. And it's just a whole different take on what a brat is.
All right.
And it's all vegan, and it's whole food, plant-based, and yeah, you're not going to get that many places.
No.
No.
No, I bet not. Do you still put ketchup and mustard on it?
Not that one.
No.
The sriracha aioli
Okay.
is the sauce.
Got it. Okay.
Some vendors would do like your traditional sauerkraut, ketchup, mustard, but we really want it to be, we really push for chefs to bring like a unique take on it.
All right.
Because I think that's more of the vibe we're going for.
Gotcha. So it's not a bunch of vegetables trying to make it taste and look like a
Yeah.
brat. It's a bunch of vegetables to be
Yeah.
a bunch of vegetables. Okay.
We want, I should have looked up the menu. Our menu's on our website from this past year of what different chefs did.
All right.
Yeah,
So is-
vegansausagefest.com.
Okay, say it again.
vegansausagefest.com.
All right. And that's same weekend?
It sure is. It's the same Saturday.
Okay.
I don't have details yet for this coming year, but
Okay.
I know it's the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend.
Gotcha.
And it will continue.
So are there vague details, like do you have bands or anything like that, like this other
We had
unmentioned
some
fest?
music, yeah, not as big. We don't have a big stage. We have some just like acoustic guitar
Okay,
bands.
so Winger's not playing, but
Yeah, no.
somebody will be playing an instrument.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller. The first year, I estimated that we had about 1,500 people come.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. I was blown away.
Okay.
Because for the first year last year, I was behind the scenes doing social media and doing videos with Lauren trying to promote it. We had no idea what to expect.
All right.
It was at Vilas Park. I know we had 1,500 people. It was amazing. We had like 6 vendors, so it was pretty small.
Yeah.
Some music, some kid stuff. And then last year we had a few more vendors. We had it in Monona. And we don't have location details for this coming year, but
Okay.
hoping to be a little bit bigger, have some like merch vendors again. Yeah.
All right.
It's exciting. It's this whole other thing that's taken off because of my passion for being vegan.
So that was your idea? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And instead of just being like, that'd be cool, you're like, that'd be cool, and then you did it.
Yeah, I
And the
brought it up to Lauren during, I host a vegan Friendsgiving, and I brought it up.
You say Friendsgiving?
Yeah, a
Okay.
vegan Friendsgiving. Brought it up to Lauren 2 years ago, and I was like, it's a dream of mine. Like with the Ragbri thing, it was a dream. And she's like, let's do it, I'll help you. And so her and I are such a good team, and we get it done.
Nice. I
Yeah.
guess you do.
We do.
That is impressive.
Thanks.
So what else is going on?
I feel like that's it.
Okay.
I feel maybe I'm missing something.
Okay.
But it's great. I mean, photography, 15 years of photography, a huge benefit to what I do is the flexibility to incorporate other things into my life that I'm passionate about.
Okay.
Because I think it would be really hard if I had like a 9-to-5 consistent job. So it's great that I can kind of put things into my schedule.
Yeah, you have that freedom and the drive of an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
so you can make stuff happen.
Yeah.
That is cool. Have you gotten any pushback?
That's a great question. I mean, yeah, well, the Facebook posts that the news outlets did, lots of comments.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lots of-
Saying like, we gotta kill pigs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of nasty comments out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Against vegan stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
against the Vegan Sausage Fest, which is fine. I mean, there'll always be people that are not happy with whatever
Yeah.
you're doing.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. But there's enough good and compassion from the community out there that will continue doing it.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair. I would think for first year, you're knocking out 1,500 people.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that's a lot of people to feed.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
think
we
that
sold
that's-
out. People sold out for sure.
And I imagine you're not alone. I mean, certainly in Madison, there's other vegan or
Yeah.
vegetarian people that would be interested in.
There's a great community, huge
Yeah.
community. Yeah. Madison Vegan Fest just happened in September. A really great turnout.
Okay.
People were coming from Green Bay, from Illinois.
Wow. Like, I'm not even a vegan, but I like food.
Yeah.
So,
And it's delicious, innovative, great food.
you know, I remember going to this bar, and they had bean patty, and I would always get that instead of the burger because, like, I'm not vegan, but that bean patty was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so good, and I remember the bartender like, "I think you're the only guy that orders that." I'm like, you know, I'm cool with that because then you won't run out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they go old.
Yeah.
It was interesting, but they were like, "Oh, he's not eating meat." I'm like, "Well, your burgers are good, but it's just a burger, right? You can have a burger anywhere."
Yep. So true.
But whatever you got in that concoction, it's pretty
Yeah.
tasty
Yeah.
and rare. So, yeah, that's cool. Beth, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you? You probably got a handful of websites here, right?
Oh, I have so many websites, so many Instagrams. BethSkogen.com, VeganSausageFest.com, PowerByPlantCycling.com, and all of those things are on Instagram as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what's next?
I got to start planning Vegan Sausage Fest.
Oh, I suppose that's
Yeah, it's only like 6 months away.
I don't- for something like that, though, I imagine that's not a lot of time
It's not a lot of time, no.
because you got to get location and
Yep.
call up Wing or do whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Grow the vegetables. I don't know.
Grow vegetables.
No, I always have great admiration for people that put on something, an event, and people actually show up. Because I've tried events a couple times and they were train wrecks. They're very expensive train wrecks. So I'm like, if you get people, rock and roll. Good for
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
That's cool. Well, sweet. Nothing to it, right?
Yeah, easy peasy.
This has been Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. We're locally underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie. Calls on Call, offering call answering and receptionist services for service businesses across the country, on the web at callsoncall.com. And of course, the Bold Business Book, a book of the entrepreneur in all of us, available wherever fine books are sold. If you're listening or watching this on the web, if you could do us a huge favor, give it the big old thumbs up, subscribe, and of course, share it with your entrepreneurial friends, especially those that like to take some candid photos, need some business shots. What else we got there? Bike a lot and do the vegan thing.
Yeah.
Or just like food, right?
Like plants, yeah.
We'd like to thank you, our wonderful listeners, as well as our guest, Beth Skogen of Beth Skogen Photography. Beth, can you tell us the websites again?
BethSkogen.com, VeganSausageFest.com, PoweredByPlantCycling.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
We got them all.
I got them all.
Sweet. Past episodes can be found morning, noon, and night at the podcast link, found at drawincustomers.com. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week. I want you to stay awesome. And if you do nothing else, enjoy your business.